10, resolution authorizing and ratifying the 2018 ambulance service contract between Portage County and the Village of Plover.
Resolution 197, 2016-2018, submitted by Public Safety Emergency Management Committee, authorizing ambulance contract with Village of Plover.
Moved by Haga, seconded by Don Jankowski. We will take comments from the public first, and then we will restrict discussion to the county board. I might add that this contract cannot be amended. It's a contract. It's an up and down vote, yes or no. So with that, we'll start with Mayor Mike Wiza. And there's a 3-minute time limit on these.
Are you serious? You should have told me that before all those other people chose to have me to be their spokesperson.
Well, if you want a minute or two more, if you're representing all of those folks, go ahead.
As I said when we talked about this before the meeting.
Fine, you're good to go.
My statements are hand out here. Thank you. First, I think there's been some misconceptions. Some people seem to think this is a political thing. It's not. I don't even see how it could be. We asked the county if there was anything they wanted to see expanded, changed, or improved upon at the last contract negotiation. We were told no. Chairman Eidsvog, you were there. We will assist in any way we can, as always, and we've never needed to wait until the contract was up before looking for improvements. I have never once said that the county should contract with Stevens Point for this ambulance. The Emergency Management Director had provided you with maps to show the response times for various locations. I assume you have those, right? These maps? Maybe you got them from EMS Oversight or the negotiating team? They weren't included in the EMS study, or the ESCI study, rather. I've got a few of them here. This shows all of the response times for different locations where this was set. I know we're not supposed to hand things out, but I'll touch on that later. Matt Dykstra created several of these with a bunch more options. The maps never made it into the ESCI study, but the data on those maps shows less than a 2% improvement in response times at your currently preferred location, primarily because the Village of Plover are already well within the benchmarks for response time set by you, the county. Information from an April 2015 presentation from your county EMS shows that the current goal is 15-minute response time for 90% of emergent calls. Your own data shows that goal is met in the metro area 99.3% of the time, and in non-metro areas only 67.9% of the time. I have those slides if you want to see those too. Price. Is it worth it? Well, you tell me. For $1.9 million that the contract with Stevens Point commits, you get the benefit of about 40 paramedics, 2 ambulances staffed 24/7, 1 already stationed in the Village of Plover for over 40 hours for 40 hours each week, and the city returns money to the county just about every year. It's our money too, and we only spend what we need to, returning what we can to help. At no additional charge, we staff up to 3 additional units, again with 2 paramedics, and the county's rapid response unit when we can. There is nothing that commits staff, any staff, to that RRU. As the EM director mentioned, we do our best, but that RRU should never be considered a sure thing backup. It's not in the contract. Let's not forget that the county contracts for all of those ambulance billings, so when the patient pays that ambulance bill, it goes back to you, reducing even further that $1.9 million. When was the last time that you didn't get at least quotes for something? If you really have the best interest of the taxpayers in mind, we bid. We compare prices for things, right? The county even had a request for proposals drawn up with the location to be in the 2400 block of Post Road. Submitted here the request for proposals, really. So it didn't seem like they were leaning one way already. But the location you chose doesn't adversely affect the 27,000 people I represent or you supervisors who represent the city. That location affects everyone else. Cost? Yes, the city taxpayers will pay more, but everyone's going to pay more. We can live with paying a little more, but not for a reduction in services. Reducing the level of service from 2 paramedics to 1 paramedic and 1 EMT should make residents in Plover and other areas to which this ambulance will be the primary responder a little nervous. And everyone should be angered because now they get this lower service too, and we're all paying more. $636,000 more, a 60.2% increase in the EMS levy. Just add the $100,000 or so and require the contract to supply 2 paramedics. Even the waiver tells you that 2 paramedics is better. The state wants you to move to 2 paramedics in no more than 18 to 24 months. I don't know what you've been told, but the state EMS director wants all providers to become 2 paramedics.
Hi, Joe. This is James Dillon, State EMS Director. I'm just following up your email of list of questions. Nothing has changed since our last discussion about what we're doing with the waivers in the Portage County area. We are continuing with the 18 months for each service and to allow that 1 medic and then move to 2 paramedic. I don't know what else that you know of that's going on, but I can just tell you that we are not looking at anything outside of that as of right now.
2 paramedics can do several things. This RSI you hear about, rapid sequence intubation, some said that it rarely happens. Since January 2016, we've done 28, including 1 just last night. 5 of those in Plover. Is 28 insignificant? Do you want to tell someone they're not significant? I have a listing of all those things that the state says 2 paramedics can do. Was this list provided to you so you can make sound decisions? If not, I can get you copies. You might say, well, 1 person has to drive anyway. What about the treatment before the transport? Just stabilizing someone so they can survive transport. With 2 paramedics working on me, I have a better chance of survival. 2 paramedics can consult with the same level of knowledge and experience, much like doctors consult each other on treatments. They work in tandem to provide the best care. And will this contract guarantee that the EMT is always going to be the one that's driving? Doesn't say that. I am a taxpayer, but more importantly, I represent over 27,000 county taxpayers in the city. There is no benefit to anyone in the city with this contract. None. It only hurts us. If our ambulances are out, the responding ambulance is going to come from Plover with 1 paramedic, 1 EMT. 10 of you represent the city on this board. Vinny, Chris, Melissa, Dave, Julie, Bud, Dan, Larry, Bo, and Bobby. You need to represent your constituents' best interests. This hurts them. Did you tell them that? Will you tell them that after you vote? Dave, you represent my district. No one I've talked to wants this lower service. Did you hear something different? Town Hall, where's your benefit? You still get 2 paramedics from Point, but now you have to pay more in the EMS levy. And now you also might get 1-in-1 ambulance. Stockton, Eau Plaine, Grant, Sharon, Linwood, Dewey. Those people need representation too. You were elected to look out for their best interests. Demand 2 paramedics. Even Plover residents will now be paying more, but only getting 1-in-1 service, less than they're getting now. Barry, you and Matt, your areas might at least see some benefit. If you get an ambulance, they're quicker, less than 2% quicker, but quicker. But is it worth it if they can't help and now have to find a second paramedic? Barry, you even said it's a small amount to take care of your people. $100,000 a year compared to your $100,000 budget, or I'm sorry, $100 million budget, is a pittance, to use the words from Supervisor Jakowski's book. If you really are representing your constituents, if you really want to do what's best for them, if you really want to improve our system, turn down this contract and any contract that doesn't require 2 paramedics. Thank you for the additional time, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.